This is a continuation of the previous video that you guys have requested, which is how to defend with assisted Kesa. So this is my opponent, 5-2-1-2 crazy formation and team, and as usual we're using the 6-1-1-3. And first thing I would say is, for your defenders, you need players without man marking skill. So for this match, I'm using a wrong left back and a wrong right back to explain how we would be defending with this strategy. Once you understand this strategy, you can play any player anywhere. But mostly for the main center backs, they are players that shouldn't have man marking skill. That's the first thing. Your players, all of them, left back, right back, center backs, everyone shouldn't have the man marking skill. So step one, no man marking skill. Very, very important. Man marking skill makes dashing backwards very, very hard. Sometimes I want to dash backwards. The reason why you want to dash or run backwards is you would notice that your opponent player is running at your defense line, but your players are not running. That is when you have to run backwards. But most of the time you have to use matchup to intercept the ball. But when you notice that your opponent is running backwards to your defense line, that is when you have to use the dash. So that brings us to step two. After removing all the man marking skill, you have to dash backwards when using assisted Kesa in certain situations. Okay, in certain situations. So in this particular match, you may not notice me dashing backwards as much because I need certain situations whereby the opponent players are running behind my defense line. That is when I'll use the dash. So you'd notice that I'm using matchup a lot because I've not gotten the situation whereby I have to use the dash. When I encounter the situation whereby the opponent defender is running too much, you notice that I'll be using dash. Now to use the dash, you just have to hold the left side. That's the directional stick, the left side. You notice that I'll just use the left side. So let's jump to step number 3. Okay, so point number 3 is, when defending, you have to use body contact to defend. In essence, what this means is all the players, they defend with their body. Okay, interception makes them move their leg to defend. So the way I'm defending right now is I'm defending with the player's body, just body movements. That is how you defend. So you notice that all of these players I'm using, and in subsequent videos you notice that these players don't have a particular skill, that is interception skill. What interception skill does is, just listen guys, interception, what it does is it makes your player move his foot forward. Now you don't want your player to move his foot forward, but you want him to use his body to defend. Okay, that is why I've used players that don't have interception skill in the next video. In the next video, I'll tell you which players you should use that don't have the interception skill. Basically, interception skill makes your defenders move their foot often. Okay, so remove that interception and now you defend with their body. This is a very, very simple trick you have to learn. So let's recap the 3 skills. First, remove man marking. Number 2, you have to dash backwards certain times. And in this particular match, I don't think this opponent is giving me a hard game. Now, what happens is that depending on how smooth the match is, you notice that the strikers are moving very frequently. Now when the strikers are moving very, very frequently, as in they are running backwards. Okay, here's the situation, is running, but he couldn't run that much. I was able to win the ball. Now there are certain situations you notice that the opponent players are running backwards very, very much. Those situations are when you have to dash backwards. Here, example, in this situation, it's not running. Okay, it's not running that much. It's not running that much, and that was a nice clearance. There are certain situations you notice that all the 3 strikers in front, all of them are running against your defense line. That is when you use the dash, the step 2. But in this situation, because of the formation is using 5-2-1-2, I'm not getting a scenario that he would be running that much against my defense line. That is why you are seeing me using matchup a lot. But in the previous video and inside the next videos, I'll be uploading a couple more videos today, since since you guys requested a lot of stuff, so in the next videos you notice when I'm using the dash, it's very important, very important. So to dash backwards, you need the fixed directional stick. It helps you dash backwards very faster. And the third thing, which is a secret, is interception skill. Remove interception skill, and what you have to do is defend with the player's body. In general, the players defend with their body. Okay, they defend with their body, and sometimes they will stick their foot. Now when you remove the interception skill, they are going to defend with their body most often, and that is why the next video I'm going to show you the guides, what players to use, and you're gonna love it. So that's a nice save by this goalkeeper. This goalkeeper is also very tall. He has a high arm coverage, and that is Mike Penza, is very OP as well. And for goalkeeper, I have no problem at all. I've talked in the previous video what goalkeepers you can use, and I'm gonna take a curl shot over here, and it should have used his right foot. Anyways, let's try and go again. So in this situation, if I hadn't won the ball over there, I would have dashed backwards. That's certain situations you just have to dash backwards. Like here, I should have dashed backwards, but because I was using the matchup, you see, he got a chance to score. Okay, let me rewind it again. So as I was saying, in this situation I should have just dashed, but I didn't. I was using matchup. So to dash, you just hold the left side. Now since I wasn't dashing backwards, this player was able to run through my defense, and that run is initiated automatically. Okay, since it's initiated automatically by the defense, they don't run backwards automatically. You'd have to dash backwards. That is situations whereby you have to use dash whenever the ball is inserted, and this is a lag, and that was a nice save by our fantastic goalkeeper. So probably you might not see me dashing as much in this particular match, but as I've said in the previous match and in the next uploads for today, you would see me using the dash in certain situations. That is very important to know if you want to defend. Okay, so in this situation like this, I have to dash. I'm dashing now. If you watch what I did, I dashed at that point. Now I'm also saying that if you want to dash backwards very effectively, you have to remove the man marking skill. How do you remove man marking skill? You can't. You just have to use defenders. In this situation, I'll dash backwards. This is what I mean by dashing. Okay, you see, I'm dashing. I'm not using matchup. I'm dashing backwards. Now I can use matchup at this point because I want to block and intercept. Whenever I dash to a certain point and I want to block or intercept, that is when I hold the right side and match up. But in most situations you want to intercept and block the ball. The only situations you don't want to intercept and block the ball is what I just said, that when the opponent players is running back at a defense line, that is when you have to just dash and you just do a curl shot to score most of your goals very accurately. Just do a controlled shot that has a very high chance of scoring, and make sure you have regularly plus very high weak foot usage, and you are going to do justice to any team. Now can you make it a 4-1? So yeah, I'm dashing. You see, I'm dashing. I dashed and then I used matchup. Dash, use matchup. That is in situations whereby the opponent players is running against your defense line. You dash backwards just to the left side before you press the matchup. It's very tricky, but that's the best thing you have to do. Best thing you have to do when defending with assisted Keza. There are certain matches you don't even have to use dash because it's very smooth, and the opponent players is not even running against your defense line. And those kind of matches you don't even have to dash backwards because it's smooth, and then opponent is not using the right players that would initiate or trigger the AI to make those runs. So at this point, let's recap everything we've said. In previous video I've talked about goalkeeper, best goalkeepers you can use, and I've used a different goalkeeper in this video. This goalkeeper is tall, 200 centimeter. Also in this video I've talked about how to defend, and then I said that you've not seen me using dash a lot in this particular match because these opponent players are not running back against my defense line as much, And also I gave you one important trick, that is you have to defend with the body. Defend with the body instead of sticking the player's foot out. And what makes the player move their foot is interception. When you remove interception skill, you can defend with the player's body. A very simple trick you have to know. I'm gonna block this ball, very easy. Nice save by our goalkeeper. So in the next match, you are going to see more professional stuff, in the sense that I'm going to drop how to train your defenders into the next video. So check out the next video, which is dropping today, and make sure you join Telegram group if you've not joined the Telegram group already. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, join Telegram group.